Welcome to Cupid's Logic, where love meets predictive intelligence. We decode attraction, conflict, attachment, and compatibility, so you can know if it will last before you commit.
Stop texting first for 7 days. Do not announce it. Do not use the silence to punish anyone. Just set your phone down and notice what happens. It is Tuesday night. You have been the one checking in, suggesting time together, and reopening the conversation after that awkward disagreement. By Friday, nobody has suggested seeing each other. The relationship has not exploded. It has simply stopped moving. That quiet can tell you something.
Welcome to Cupid's Logic. I am your host, Craig Pruitt. And today we are looking at a question many people feel before they can say it out loud. If I stopped trying so hard, would this relationship still create any momentum? We are not talking about one busy weekend or a temporary season of exhaustion. We are talking about a repeated pattern where one person keeps creating every beginning.
You send the first message. You plan the quality time. You bring up the subject nobody wants to discuss. You reach for affection. After conflict, you are the one who softens, returns, explains, and tries again. Maybe your partner responds warmly. Maybe they agree. Maybe they say they care deeply. But if all the movement begins with you, a painful thought eventually appears. Am I in a relationship, or am I managing one?
I call the pattern the initiation equity forecast. It is not a scorecard for love, and it is not a demand for perfectly identical behavior. Some people naturally plan more. Some need longer to find words. One partner may be carrying a difficult month, a health issue, or an intense workload. Healthy equity leaves room for all of that. The real question is whether responsibility shifts over time, or whether one person becomes the permanent engine while the other remains a passenger. That is the part people miss. Equality is not a daily 50-50 split. Equity means both people notice when the relationship needs attention, and both are willing to help create it. If one person carries more during a hard season, the other recognizes that burden and contributes when they can. The effort can look different. It just cannot remain invisible, unacknowledged, and permanently one-sided. Curious. Start with connection. Who creates opportunities to feel close? It might be the good morning message, the question after a difficult day, or the decision to protect an evening from distractions. You may be physically together, sharing a room and a schedule, while emotionally living in separate places. If you stopped creating those moments, would your partner notice the missing closeness, or only notice that the calendar had become less convenient? Then look at care. Who remembers the appointment, offers encouragement, reaches for a hand, or notices that the other person is carrying too much? These actions are easy to dismiss because each one is small. But emotional safety is rarely built through one grand gesture. It is built through small signals repeated often enough to say, I see you, and I am participating in your life.
Conflict repair is another revealing place to look. Not who wins the argument, who comes back afterward, who says, I do not want us to stay stuck here, who can acknowledge the impact of their words without spending the entire conversation defending their intentions. If you are always the one returning and reopening the door, you may eventually stop knocking. That withdrawal can look like peace, but sometimes it is simply exhaustion.
And there is the future. Who brings up what you are building together? Who asks how your priorities fit, what commitment means, or what kind of life you both want? This is not about forcing a timeline. It is about shared willingness to imagine and shape a direction. If every meaningful future conversation begins with you, every decision waits for you, and every uncertainty is managed by you, the issue may involve readiness or compatibility, not just communication style. Before you decide what the pattern means, slow down. One bad week is not a forecast. A pattern across several weeks might be. For 2 weeks, make a simple private note when something meaningful happens. Write down the area involved, who initiated, how the other person responded,
whether there was follow-through, and what was happening around it. Was someone depleted? Was there a clear request? Did action follow the reassurance?
Do not turn this into surveillance, and do not secretly withdraw every effort to see whether your partner panics. That is a hidden test, not useful information. Instead, notice your own experience. Are you beginning to feel like a manager instead of a partner? Are you sending reminders, translating your needs, and following up until a simple request becomes another job? Do you feel relief when you stop asking because at least you are no longer being disappointed? That relief is information.
When one-sided initiation continues, the relationship often follows a predictable path. One person compensates. Then they feel unseen. Their requests become sharper because gentle requests have not changed anything. The other person feels criticized and pulls back. The first person pursues harder or finally gives up. Soon, the couple is living in a parent and child dynamic. One person reminds, organizes, and carries concern, while the other reacts.
That pattern can also distort the meaning you assign to affection. You may think, my partner never initiates, so they must not desire me or care about us. Sometimes a lack of desire is part of the story, but anxiety, avoidant habits, low confidence, stress, depression, or family patterns can also make initiation difficult. The behavior still matters. Its meaning deserves investigation. Be honest with yourself, but do not turn someone else's pattern into a verdict about your worth.
So bring the pattern into the open. You could say, I have noticed that I usually start our conversations, plan our time, raise difficult subjects, and return after conflict. I am not asking us to behave identically. I am telling you that I feel responsible for creating most of our movement, and I am becoming tired and less secure because of it.
Then make 1 or 2 requests that can actually be observed. Try this. I would like you to plan one evening together this week. If we have a difficult day, I would like you to initiate a check-in. If we have tension, I would like you to return to the conversation within 24 hours instead of waiting for me to do it. Specific requests create a fair opportunity for change. They replace the vague demand to try harder with behavior both people can recognize. Then watch what happens over the next 2 weeks. Not perfection, engagement. Does your partner become curious about your experience? Do they remember the request without constant reminders? Do they make an effort even if it feels awkward at first? If they miss it, do they notice and repair? A partner who says, I did not understand how this felt, and then works with you may be showing real capacity. A partner who mocks the concern, dismisses it, or makes promises without effort is giving you different information. If there is intimidation, coercion, threats, or fear, pause this exercise. That is not merely an initiation imbalance or a compatibility question. Your safety comes first. Consider qualified professional or local support, and remember that a relationship forecast is never a substitute for safety planning or therapy.
When the pattern can change, the benefits reach far beyond a more even calendar. The person who has been pursuing connection can finally rest. The person who has been withdrawing may discover that taking initiative is possible, even if it feels unfamiliar. Conflict becomes less about who will break the silence. Future conversations become shared imagination instead of interviews conducted by one anxious partner.
Sometimes the forecast reveals a fixable habit. Sometimes it reveals a meaningful compatibility gap. And sometimes it shows that the relationship has more capacity than you realized, because once the pattern is named, both people begin moving toward each other. That is the value of looking at behavior. It gives love something honest to work with. So remember the core test. Across connection, care, conflict repair, and future planning, who creates movement? Who responds? Who follows through? You are not searching for identical behavior. You are looking for shared responsibility and reliable effort. And when you stop carrying the whole beginning, does your partner step toward the relationship or only explain why you should keep carrying it? If this gave you language for something you have been feeling, I would love to hear your thoughts. Visit cupidslogic.com for a clearer, more intelligent view of compatibility, relationship patterns, and long-term potential. You deserve to know what your relationship is built to sustain. Are you ready for the truth? Thanks for listening to Cupid's Logic. Remember, you're not bad at relationships. You've been flying blind.
This has been Cupid's Logic. Stop flying blind in love. Visit cupidslogic.com and let the Prism engine reveal what your relationship data already knows.